family made up of kind adults and friendly children. Crucibina was the knave at that time, and the House of the Hearth was under her control. She was Clairvy's mother by blood, but she was also the mother to all the children in the house. Clairvy was happy here, for a time. But she quickly realized that being part of this family wasn't a fairy tale at all. It was a kind of purgatory.
Purgatory?
Exactly. The House of the Hearth takes in war orphans from all over Tevat. But as for how to raise them, that depends entirely on the person in charge. Crucibina came up with a novel idea. She would teach the children to fight, force them to duel each other, and then... It's difficult to estimate the number of children who died or were maimed in the process. There's little I can say about the ones who died. The ones that emerged with permanent injuries, they would be handed over to the doctor to be experimented on, or sent away on dangerous missions. Nothing more than tools to be used and then discarded.
So those were the experiments Clairvy was talking about. You said that Clairvy was Crucibina's daughter, so if Clairvy tried to convince her to stop what she was doing...
Despite being Clairvy's mother, Crucibina cared little for her daughter. She forced Clairvy to join the House of the Hearth only as a means to demonstrate her own import. Clairvy did try to convince her mother to change her ways, but it was to no avail. After her efforts failed, the only other option was to rise up and try to fight back. And of course, there was one exception. Someone Clairvy's age who knew the truth about the House of the Hearth. Her name was Paraware.
Wait, the friend that Clairvy mentioned?
Friend, huh? I suppose with... Clairvy was a cheerful and passionate person with a tenacious spirit. Paraware, on the other hand, was rather cold-blooded. Her cold-blooded nature allowed her to see through Crucibina's facade. Yet, it was also this cold-bloodedness that prevented her from acting against it. At least at first. While Clairvy longed for freedom, Paraware was convinced that, amid all the fighting and violence, despite their differences, the two became fast friends, united by their knowledge of the truth. Clairvy told Paraware that she hoped to create a real family, where no one would be killed. There may have been a certain naivete to her ideas, but Clairvy proved her determination many times over. She tried countless times to run away, ask for help, or expose the truth. But her efforts only earned her beating after beating. Even with her body racked with pain, she would still stand on her tiptoes and open the window at night. She and Paraware would look out at the moon together. A fierce...
Oh no.
Her hopelessness resulted from a culmination of things. 10 years had passed. 10 years worth of failure after failure. She and Paraware weren't children anymore, but finding any chance to escape still seemed as hopeless as ever. It was during this time that Paraware suggested a new plan. If escaping was out of the question, why not take down the... Clairvy rejected that proposal. She claimed that, as a famous harbinger, Crucibina possessed an... Clairvy never gave another reason, but Paraware could see it written all over her face. Clairvy still thought of Crucibina as her mother. Killing her own... If she couldn't escape and fight back, then only one option remained. Precisely. Death was the only way. It happened during a duel. When she arrived at the dueling ring that day, her partner turned out to be none other than Paraware. The very person that had stood by her side all those years. It was a fierce battle. But ultimately, from that moment on, Paraware's journey was one written in flames. When the rain finally came and washed it all away, there she stood, the sole victor in Mother's endless game of slaughter. A trail of corpses. It was the very result she had predicted 10 years prior. Even then, she believed she would make it until the end. She wasn't surprised by the fact that she emerged as Mother's undisputed heir. She was unsettled. And there was only one thing that could quell that sensation. Perhaps you two would like to take a guess as to what it...
Crucibina, you mean?
Correct. This is the place where Peruware killed her best friend. A mere year later, this is also the place where she fought tooth and nail to kill the moment she acted. Any conception of what was right or wrong ceased to matter. It's one of the principles of the house. Oh, Peruware won the battle, and became a harbinger herself. After which Her Majesty, the Tsaritsa, bestowed upon her a new name. Arlecchino.
So the Perry Clairvy was talking about... It was you all along. You're Peruware. Arlecchino is just a name you got later.
I left that name behind long ago. I must say, after I defeated Crucibina, the moniker of Mother died with her. I chose to forego the title she called herself, and even chose to give up my own name. And that is where the story ends.
Yeah. Based on what you just told us, Clairvy wasn't a little kid when she was killed.
I suppose you could call her an illusion born of flame. Her existence is like ashes to a fire. You see, a certain power runs through my veins. It's not unlike a curse. My flames, of course. The chances of those shadows morphing into a sentient entity are exceedingly slim. Clairvy is a very special case. Clairvy died when she was 16 years old. But what emerged from the flames was her 6-year-old self. Her appearance wasn't the only thing affected. Memory is a mysterious thing indeed. Losing a portion of your memories will alter your sense of self. Lose 10 years' worth, however.
No wonder Paimon got such a weird feeling when we were talking.
Perhaps I should put it this way. Clairvy is someone trapped in time. It may seem like she exists with us in the present.
So if all of that is true, then you must have known about Claire.
Indeed. She's a rather volatile and unstable, but other times she would hide from me and become obsessed with revealing the truth. Shadows don't have the capacity to learn or grow. Any new information, your attempts to expose Clairvy to sunlight. They failed, yes. The reason is actually quite simple, but no matter. All I have to do is kill her again, and all will be resolved. I don't anticipate—
Wait! Paimon can understand why you might want her gone, but isn't there another way? So what if she's trapped in her 6-year-old self? She's still your friend! At least talk to her first!
It's too late for that. She broke the rules, and now she must be punished.